No! Oh my goodness, this is my pet peeve. Have you ever struggled with serious body image issues? Are you never mad at yourself for not being more social? Time. I sacrificed time. What was the darkest point in your life? I don't know why you would point that out on someone, like even if you think it's funny. Do you think you avoid junk food because you think it's unhealthy? What age did you lose your virginity? Hello everybody, I hope you're all going well. Welcome back to my channel. So the other day on my Instagram, I asked you guys to ask me deep questions, like really deep questions, and you guys delivered. Like, I was reading through some of the questions and oh my goodness, they are deep. So yeah, in today's video, I'm just going to be and there's quite a lot of them as well. There's like almost 50. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering all of your deep questions, your really deep questions. I'll be answering them really honestly. And yeah, so if you're ready for some deep chats and some deep convos, then this is a video for you. So I ask fairly regularly on my Instagram for like questions or assumptions or YouTube video things. So if you're not following me, go follow me. It's at tia.chitty, and comment down below if you have any other like suggestions of videos that I could film similar to this one, where I get you guys to give me questions or assumptions or something, and then I kind of respond to them or react to them, because these videos are just really fun to film. They're like, it's so interesting to hear your questions. So okay, if you're not even an OG, if you've just been watching my videos recently, we have the sock issue again. If you know, you know. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started answering some of these questions. I also just had an iron infusion, so that's coming out in a vlog soon. I'm just gonna scroll right down to the bottom, starting with the first question. What is your biggest regret in your athletics career? Biggest regret? I don't know. It's really hard for me to think. I don't think I've done anything I regret all that much in my athletics career. I'd probably say like I really didn't train hard enough. Like I didn't put much effort into training, or like my training outside of our specific training days. So like my easy runs, my long runs and stuff like that, I didn't put much effort into them in 2017, and that then impacted my performance for a couple of years after that. And also like not fueling my body enough in like 2018 and early 2019. That was I'm getting really hot already. I'm probably gonna have to get out of this jumper. But that was, yeah, not fueling my body with enough food. That really impacted my performance as well. And so then I just had a rough couple of years running in 2017, 18, and like the first half of 2019, because I had like a bunch of stuff, and it could have been avoided if I hadn't done those things. So I'd say those are like my biggest regrets. But I am a person who thinks that like you learn something from every experience. So I wouldn't say like if I went back in time, I don't know if I would change anything, because I think that the things that I've done have like made me who I am today and got me to where I am today, and I'm happy with where I am today. And I think that's how things were meant to work out, even though I kind of wish they didn't work out like that in the past, but do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my answer. I'm just gonna take my jumper off because I'm really hot and I don't have a shirt on under this, so I'm just gonna, yeah. Okay, we are back after a brief change. Okay, next question. Would you ever make some new friends? That's not really a very deep question, but yeah, of course, I make new friends all the time. I'm gonna have to be making new friends at college, because otherwise I'll have no friends at all. Yeah, I make new friends all the time. I love making new friends, so definitely. Do you believe in fate? Interesting question. Yes, I do to an extent. I do believe that like I believe that the universe works in weird ways. I do think that things happen for a reason, and I think that, yeah, things are happening right now to each and every one of us for a reason, and because they're getting us to where we want to be. And I think sometimes it's just a nice thing to be able to believe in, because if something bad happens to you, or something really bad happens in your life, it's kind of not comforting, I guess, to think this is what's meant to happen, this is what's meant to happen. It's just all part of kind of my journey, if you know what I mean. the whole thing of like fate versus free will, I don't really know where I am on that spectrum, but I definitely do believe in fate, like to an extent. So yes, I do. Have you ever struggled with serious body image issues? Kind of. I have struggled with body image issues, definitely. How serious? Like semi-serious? Not like super serious, but I've definitely struggled semi-seriously with body image issues, definitely. Yeah, actually, typical body image issues are like, you know, I don't know, looking like slim or whatever, having a six-pack or whatever, and I have struggled with that like a little bit to some extent. But when I was younger, I struggled with, I was really self-conscious about my ears, because this is one of the reasons why I always wear my hair down in every single video that I film. My ears, okay, so apparently my ears are quite large, and someone, when I was in year 1, we were walking to assembly. I remember this very distinctly. We were walking to assembly and I had my hair tied up, obviously, because you had to have your hair tied up at school, and someone said to me, your ears are really big. And I was like, oh, okay. And from that day on, I have been self-conscious of my ears, and since that day, I have had so many people let me know that my ears are big. And I'm like, why would you, I don't know why you would point that out on someone, like even if you think it's funny, like by pointing out something like that about someone, like it's very likely that that's something that other people have pointed out, and it's very likely that that's something that they're insecure about, so why would you like point that out? So yeah, I've always been kind of insecure about my ears, but I am like a very, like quite a like I have quite a lot of self-confidence, so it doesn't really bother me. Like I don't go around with my hair down all the time. I wear it up to school, I wear it up to running training, I wear it up like in my vlogs and YouTube videos and everything. Like going out with my ears showing doesn't bother me at all, but it used to like kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's always been something I'm like a little insecure about, but I don't really care about it anymore. Like I'm kind of over it, like whatever, at least I can hear well, you know. So yeah, and also the other thing is my toes. My toes are so weird. They're like, they spread really far apart and they just look like a frog's feet when I'm wearing open-toed shoes. So I'm kind of, what was the question? I feel like, oh, body image. So like those aspects of my body image I've kind of struggled with, and like to a little bit also just like the general like body image, looking, you know, your whole body kind of thing. But yes, I have. Okay, next question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I never know how to answer these questions because I have no idea where I see myself in 6 months. Like, I don't know what I'm studying at university. I don't know anything. Like, so I literally, is the camera wonky? I always worry that the camera's gonna be wonky, but it never really is. I never, like, I don't know. I have literally no idea. I don't see myself in 10 years. Like I can't see myself in 5 years. Like I don't see myself past the end of college, because that's kind of a certainty. Like I know that's where I'll be for the next 4 years. After that, I really don't see myself anywhere. Like I just can't. I can't picture myself anywhere. So that's a concern, but oh well. What would you say to your future self? I need a drink of water. That's what I say. Need a drink of water. Jokes. To my future self, normally it's asked, like, normally the question is what would you say to your past self? So to my future self, I don't know, because I don't know where I am in the future. I guess I'd just be like, I hope you're happy. Like, I don't know what I'd say to my future self, because I don't know what I'm going through in the future. Interesting question. What is your biggest fear? My biggest fear has always been, touch wood, one of my family members dying. Like that is my biggest fear. It's, yeah, definitely my biggest fear. And I'm also like, is that a hypochondriac the right word? I don't know if it's the right word to describe, like when my parents go out and they're home, like, and they're like still out when they said that, like if they go out and they say, oh, we'll be home by 10 p.m. and it gets to 10:15 and they're still not home, like I just think that they're in a car crash and they've died or something's happened, you know. Like, so it really stresses me out. So on regular occasions I'm like stressing out that they've died, but like so yeah, but that is my biggest fear by far. I have lots of other fears, but that's my biggest one. Yeah. Biggest regret / biggest lesson you've learned? Okay, so that's 2 questions in one. So my biggest regret is, I think when I moved back, so I'm actually planning on filming a YouTube video about my whole life story, because it's really confusing, because I moved up a grade, then moved back down to my normal grade, then I moved across the country, then I moved back across the country, and then went into the school that I was at before, and it's very confusing. So but basically I think when I moved from year 10 in Melbourne back to year 11 in Perth, I feel like I kind of regret not, I don't know, I just kind of regret everything that happened in the first 6 months of 2018 of year 11, because that just then set me up for a really bad next 12 months. And I will go into all of that stuff. I'm gonna film a whole video about that. But yeah, and some future questions in this video kind of ask stuff about that as well. But yes, I'll film a whole video about that. But I'd say kind of like, I regret the whole of 2018 and half of 2019. Biggest lesson I've learned. The biggest lesson I've learned is that you never know what's going on behind closed doors. And that includes with your friends, with someone you see on the train, like a stranger you see, and with your closest family members as well. You never know what's going on in someone's life, so you just have to be kind to everyone. Like, I don't know, you could be seeing someone on the bus on your commute to work who is being I don't know, being rude or obnoxious or something, but they might have just been told that their mum's died or something, and they're just in complete shock. You just that's a very extreme example, but you really just don't know what's going on inside people's, behind closed doors, inside people's heads. And with the rise of mental health issues as well, lots of people are struggling with mental health, and that's not always something that you can tell just by looking at them or by having a conversation with them. So yeah, the biggest lesson I've learned in life is that you never know what is going on behind closed doors. So just always be kind to people, because you don't know. Yeah, you just don't know. So be kind always. Yeah. What is your biggest regret? Oh, I just answered that. That was the next question as well. What's your biggest regret? It's quite a lot of regrets in this. I don't have that many regrets. How do you determine success and happiness? Oh, how do I determine success and happiness? That is a really, really hard question. I would probably need to give this a lot more thought, but I think success is giving back to the world in some way, and leaving the world a better place because of a little something you've done. It doesn't have to be finding a cure for cancer or anything, but just in some way kind of improving the world and making a difference in someone's lives, however big or small that could be, and however many people's lives you make a difference in. It doesn't have to be lots of people, but I think just making a difference in some way. And also I would say being content, being really truly content with your life, and kind of just everything that's going on in your journey in your life. Being really content with where you're at and making a difference to the world in some way. I think that's how I would define success. And happiness. Yeah, I would say happiness is being content. If you are really truly content, I think that's kind of when you are happiest, because really deep down, yeah, I often can't find the words to say what I'm trying to say, but yeah, okay, that's my answer to that question. Are you never mad at yourself for not being more social? No, I'm not mad at myself. I'm not super antisocial. I'm not a super party queen, you know, but I still go out to parties, and I still see my friends quite often. And no, I'm not mad at myself for not being more social. If I wanted to be more social, I would be, but I just don't really enjoy partying. I enjoy seeing my friends. I love seeing my friends and catching up with them and having good times with them, but I just don't enjoy actual partying and clubbing all that much, so I just don't do it because I don't like it. So I'm not mad at myself for it, because if I wanted to do it, then I would just do it. So no. Do you believe in reincarnation? Also, I'm from Melbourne. also and moved to Perth. Hee hee. Oh, haha, twinning. Do I believe in reincarnation? No. I've never really given that much thought, but I don't think so. Have you ever suffered from depression or any sort of mental illness? I've never suffered from depression. I have suffered from like mental illnesses, or like I like to say mental health issues. So yes, I have suffered from some of them in the past couple of years, which I will make a whole video on at some stage, but not depression. I've been like really sad, but it hasn't actually gone into depression, and I'll talk about that. I'm gonna film a whole video about like my mental health journey at some stage when I'm like kind of ready to talk about it, which will probably be soon, but it's not like right now. But yeah, so yes, I have, but not depression. Have you ever felt like no one really resembled to you? Have you ever felt like no one really resembled to you? What does that mean? Have you ever felt like no one... Maybe it's meant to say like, have you ever felt like no one really understood me? I'm gonna take it like that, okay? Yes, I have plenty of times felt like no one understands me, and that's just because I wasn't like telling people like what I was going through, so obviously they didn't understand because I wasn't like telling them. So yeah, I have felt like that. That's just how I'm gonna take that question. What's your favorite inspirational quote? Oh, I have one. I do have one. And I can't remember it. That's so annoying. What is it? It's gonna annoy me. If I'm not gonna waste time like trying to think of it right now, but if I remember it, I'll put it on the screen. And if I don't remember it, I will keep thinking, and when I do remember it, I will say it in like an upcoming video at some point. And I'll message you on Instagram once I remember what it is. So yeah, I'll say it in a video at some point if I haven't put it on the screen. Do you feel like to run cross country and long distances you need to be skinny? No, I don't think you want to be skinny. Being skinny is like not good, because being slim is okay. Like I am naturally a slim person, but being skinny is like, that's like, I feel like, in my opinion, it is not nice to call someone skinny. It's like calling someone fat, because skinny in my mind is like unhealthy. Slim is like, you can have a slim body shape, which I do have, but skinny, no. Skinny is not good. Skinny is unhealthy, so no, I don't think so. You need to be strong to do cross country and long distances. All body shapes and sizes can run long distances and cross country really, really well. So you just have to be like the right shape and size and weight and height and whatever for your body. There's no one body shape that you need to be able to run long distances and cross country really well, because everyone's body is going to function best at a different body shape and size. So no, definitely not. Have you struggled with an eating disorder? So I feel like I've kind of danced around this topic in like a couple of videos, and I am going to make like a whole video on my mental health journey soon, like I said, but yes, I have. So yeah, I'm not like going to talk about it right now because I feel like it just needs its whole own video, but yeah, I have struggled with that sort of thing in the past, yes. Do you think you avoid junk food because you think it's unhealthy? No! Oh my goodness, this is my pet peeve when people think this. I get quite a lot of questions about this. No, I do not avoid junk food because I think it's unhealthy. I have never in my life liked eating junk food. I just don't like the taste of it. I don't like the taste of cake. I don't like the taste of ice cream, of lollies, of chips, of like chocolate, of all of that stuff that is deemed as junk food. I also don't like the taste of like a bunch of other foods. Like I don't like the taste of most processed meats, like processed ham, processed chicken, pepperoni, salami, all of that kind of stuff. I don't like the taste of junk foods and most unhealthy foods. I just don't like the taste of them. So I avoid them because I don't like how they taste. I don't avoid them because I think they're unhealthy. Like if someone offered me 2 plates of food and one had like vegetables and salmon and the other one had like cake, chocolate, chips and lollies, I would choose the one with vegetables and salmon like every single day of the week, because I love that food. It tastes really, really good to me and I just enjoy eating it so much more. I don't like I just don't like it. It's not because it's unhealthy, it's just because I don't personally like that food. It's like, what food do you not like the taste of? Like, whatever food, it could be Brussels sprouts, it could be Vegemite toast, it could be cake. Like, if I offered you that food, you wouldn't want it. Not because it's like unhealthy or because it's healthy or because it's got any certain label, just because you don't like the taste of it. Like, that's literally me. And it just so happens that the foods I don't really like are foods that society deems as unhealthy. And it also just so happens that quite a lot of those foods I have intolerances to, but it's not, I don't avoid them because I think they're unhealthy. I avoid them because I don't like them. And there's no point me eating them. There's no point me forcing myself to eat foods that I don't like, because those foods are not going to give me any like particular nutritional value. Like, I don't really need them in my diet, so I'm not going to force myself to eat them. If I didn't like a food like broccoli or something, I'd probably every so often like force myself just to have some because it's really good for you. But those foods aren't really that good for you, so why would I force myself to have them? So no, I do not avoid junk food because I think it's unhealthy. I avoid it because I don't like it. It doesn't taste nice. It's not a vibe. So yeah, no, that is like my pet peeve. I really don't like when people assume that, because that's, yeah, no. What is your vocation, in brackets purpose, for your life and family? Goodness gracious, what does that mean? Wait, what? Okay, what is my purpose in life and for my family? I'm just going to say, what is my purpose in life? I think that's kind of similar to the question about how do you determine success. So my purpose in life is to leave the world a slightly better place than I came to it, and to really be content and to help other people be content as well. And I hope to address some of, I hope to in some way help some of the like inequalities that we have in the world at the moment, which there's so many. There's like gender, people like females are like not thriving as much as males, just generally. There is racism, like with the current Black Lives Movement, like that is a really big issue. There is poverty. There's so many more issues that there's like how do you phrase it, like LGBTQ, that, you know, which so people who are like homosexual versus heterosexual, like all of those different issues. I would like to in some way kind of help everybody to just be more equal in terms of all of those things. So yeah, that's kind of my, I don't know if that's my purpose, but that's just what I'm gonna say. How tall are you? Does it benefit you for running? That's not a very deep question, but I am 172 centimeters tall, and I mean, I'd say what benefits me more for running is my torso to leg ratio. So I have very long legs and a shorter torso. So like my torso is quite short and my legs are quite long, which means that I have long legs, but I'm not carrying like lots of extra weight because like my torso isn't like really long, it's quite short. So it's just like that kind of, my torso to leg ratio helps me with running. I think I do have generally just quite a good physique for running, just the way that my body is kind of composed, made up, the way it is built. And I think being like relatively tall is definitely, it's not a disadvantage, but I think, yeah, however tall you are, you just gotta like make the most of it. And if you look at like Olympic runners, they're like all different sizes, they're all different heights, so I don't think there's any, it's like particularly advantageous, but I don't think it's a disadvantage to be tall. Like if anything, it's probably like a little bit of an advantage because you could have a longer stride, but then you are carrying more weight because you're taller. So I mean, I don't know. Have you ever struggled with eating habits? Yes, I have struggled. Oh, she wrote have you ever struggles, and she meant struggled. Yes. How many hours a day did you study in year 12? That is not a deep question, and I have answered this question in so many Q&As. I answered it in my last Q&A that I did. I answered it in a Q&A on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I answered this question so many times and it's not deep, and I'm tempted to skip it, but I will just answer it very quickly. On Mondays to Fridays, I did anywhere between 0 and 3 hours, and on the weekends, I did anywhere between 1 and 6 hours, and that is just an approximation because I never really counted my hours, so I don't actually know how many I did. That's just how many I think I did. Okay, next question. Are you religious? No, I'm not religious. What's your biggest insecurity? My ears, my toes. So those are body parts, but insecure, well, obviously. Insecurities apart from body parts, or like insecurities apart from my body. I don't know. Can't really think of any. Yeah, I literally, I'm finding it hard to think of any insecurities. Apart from my ears. What did you sacrifice for your running career? Ooh, a social life. Like, but I never really, like, I'm not that interested in having a social life anyway. Not that again, it's not that I don't have a social life, it's just that I'm not partying every single night or every single weekend, which suits me fine because that's not really my vibe. So I guess, yeah, I sacrificed, like, you know, having as much of a social life as other people have, and I also sacrificed like a lot of time that I could have spent studying. I know for a fact that if I'd like not run during year 12, I would have had so much more time to study and probably could have got like a higher atar, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm just saying, like, I probably could have, but I don't regret that because I love being good at running and I love running, and I don't just want to be like a one-dimensional person. Not that it's bad if you just studied in year 12, but I think it's good to have something you can do outside of school. And yeah, so wait, what was the question? I keep forgetting the question. What did you sacrifice for your running career? So yeah, I'd say like just time that I could have, I sacrificed time that I could have spent, you know, I could have spent it studying, I could have spent it having a social life, I could have spent it, I used to play the violin, but I had to give it up because I didn't have enough time to practice because of running, so I could have like been a really good violinist. I played it for 8 years and I was pretty good. So yeah, I just sacrificed time that I could have spent doing other things. And obviously money as well, but it was mostly, up until this point, it's mostly been my parents' money, which I'm very lucky for. It's not like a super expensive sport. It's not an expensive sport. The only expensive thing is when I've been like traveling to nationals. Because I live in Western Australia, it's like really far to travel to. If you don't know the geography of Australia, look it up. I live in Perth, and basically all the other capital cities are on the east coast, and it's expensive to travel to nationals when they're on the east coast. So yeah, I would say time and money, but I don't regret it because it's like the best thing in my life. So okay, what is the purpose of humankind? Pretty deep question. Ah ha ha. I love like saying people's ha ha, ah ha ha, bah ha ha. The bah ha ha kind of annoys me, not gonna lie. But I don't think anyone said that. What is the purpose of humankind? That is like a question that requires a lot of thinking, and I don't know. I think, yeah, I think maybe to leave the world a better place than, oh, someone wants me to tutor them in chemistry. I think, yeah, to leave the world a better place, to improve something while you're on Earth, like to improve something throughout your life, something in the world. What else? The purpose of humankind. I don't know. I don't have really deep thoughts like that, so I'm just gonna keep going because, yeah, I feel like just I'm not gonna come up with a very smart answer to that. Have you personally struggled with running mentally, like after a bad season and not PBing? I haven't done a PB in any event since March 2016, so I've kind of got used to not PBing by now. But I've never like struggled with running mentally after like having a not good season. It kind of, if anything, just makes me more motivated to like work hard for the next season. And I just kind of set myself other goals that aren't necessarily like PBs or times. I set myself kind of other goals, so that's one thing you could do. But just especially, yes, you are a girl. For girls especially, during your teenage years, we go through puberty, and that really like affects our, could you shut up? It affects our like sport, our ability to play our sport. We will, if you're like shush. If you're a female runner and you're going through your teenage years, during puberty, you will see like a dip in your times, and eventually you will turn the corner, like you'll hit the trough and you'll start coming back up if you just persist. So just keep going. Like, it happens to absolutely everyone. You've got to let your body go through puberty. So it's gonna happen. But yeah, I haven't struggled mentally personally, but if you have, like, just keep grinding, but do give your body time to like rest and to grow as well. So, but yeah, just like keep going, because don't give up. Don't give up because you're not PBing. If I had given up because I wasn't PBing, I would have given up several years ago, and then I wouldn't be going to Yale right now. So there you go. Have you ever been physically put under pressure to have certain body images? No, I haven't. Like, no one else has like told me I need to change my body or have like a certain body image or anything. So no, I don't think so. Is training for a marathon on weekends only enough? That's not a deep question. But if you're training for a marathon, I think you need to train during the week as well. Like, I don't think it's enough to just train on weekends. But like, I'm not an expert in that. Were you always smart? If not, how did you get smart? Again, not a deep question, and I answered this in my last Q&A. Yes, I've always been smart. What tutoring did you go to? I didn't go to tutoring. I went to like 2 tutoring sessions for maths specialist at the very end of year 12, but I didn't do proper tutoring ever. So what tutoring do you recommend? I recommend that you get tutored by me. Email me, tiachitty17@gmail.com, so that I can tutor you. Jokes. No, I'm not joking. I actually do tutor people. That's not a deep question. I'm not answering that. You are very protective of your youngest sister. That's not like a deep question. That's like a deep assumption. Ooh. But yes, it's very true. I am so protective of my youngest sister. Like, I am so protective of her. Sometimes people who are mean to her, I literally feel like just going and punching them in the face. No, I'm joking. Violence is never the answer. But I feel like going and giving them a very stern talking to. Like, if someone messes with my younger sister, like, just send them to me and they will never mess with anybody again. Like, yes, I'm very protective of her. What are you most scared of with moving countries, and specifically moving to America? Lots of people have asked me if I'm scared about moving to America. I'm literally like, I'm not worried about it in the slightest. I don't know, maybe I should be worried about it, but I'm just not. What am I most scared of? I had a nightmare the other night that someone was chasing me with a gun. So I'm kind of like not really vibing that everyone can walk around with a gun, but let's not go into those, it's a political gun laws to have or not to have. That is a political topic, so let me not get into that. That's kind of not a vibe though. But it's not really something I can control. What am I most scared about? I'm literally not scared about anything really. I'm just kind of like, it's kind of, what's the word, like annoying. Coronavirus is kind of annoying. Obviously, I am very aware that there are so many people in far worse situations than I am in with the coronavirus, but I'm just personally, but for me, like, it is significantly impacting my ability to kind of get ready for college and even possibly go to college. So that's kind of annoying me. But what am I scared of? I feel like I could possibly feel like very out of my depth. But I feel like I'm just gonna feel kind of like very overwhelmed. But I'm not scared about it. I just kind of, that's how I think I'll feel. Do you believe in the concept of soulmates? Soulmates? I don't know. No, not really. Maybe. Like, I don't know, so I don't want to say no, but also like it's not something I really believe in that much. No. But like, maybe, you know? Oh, the next question. Oh my gosh, okay. I love that they've just assumed this. What age did you lose your virginity? Do I look like someone who's lost my virginity? Like, why didn't you ask, like, have you lost your virginity, not what age did you lose it? I have not lost my virginity. So that I would not want to lose it in high school. Like, I don't even know if I want to lose it in college. Like, I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to it in college because I'm like an adult, but I definitely wouldn't want to, like, I'm not going to go out seeking to do it, but if it so happened, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I definitely wouldn't want to do it in high school. Like, you're not even like 18 yet. What are the biggest setbacks / challenges you've overcome with running? I would say, yeah, the whole underfueling issue during 2018 and early 2019, that was a really big issue. And also, yeah, that's probably the biggest issue. I've kind of overcome that. Well, I have overcome it now. So yeah, that's the biggest setback I would say I faced. And also just like not running well in like 2017 when I wasn't like training enough, and probably going through puberty as well. Like I've really, oh no, I've lost the questions. No, they're back. A really big setback I've just had generally is like not PBing for like 5 years. Which is very, very, like, it's really hard to stay motivated when you don't PB in so long. So that's a really big general setback, but I'm still powering on. So hopefully if I don't get a PB at college, that will just be the most depressing thing. But yeah, that's kind of answering your question. What was the darkest point in your life? The darkest point in my life was when my parents split up in 2018, early 2018. So yeah, I was like depressed I was literally like, when I was saying earlier in the video, I've been like very sad. I was literally like, I was depressed for like a couple of weeks. And then I was really sad for like a long time after that. But I was literally like, I didn't have depression, but now I kind of know, I could never say that I know how it feels to have depression, because I've never had it, and you just don't know if you've never experienced something like that. But I kind of like tapped into what it could feel like, and I felt some of the things that I think you feel when you have depression. Like I was really, really, really sad. And I'm not going to go into that, like the whole story of that right now. That can come in my mental health video. But yeah, that was the darkest point in my life. That was like what kickstarted all of my mental health issues for like the next year. So yay. Tips for staying positive and motivated / how to deal with stress. I would say make sure you're celebrating all of your little victories. Like I haven't PB'd for a really long time, but that doesn't mean I haven't run well. Like I've had good races, and so I will like celebrate those little victories. And at school, celebrate if you get a really good mark in a test, even if you're not doing well overall. Like celebrate your little victories. So that's a tip for like staying positive. Just like celebrate the things that you're doing well. And make sure you have something going on in your life other than whatever it is you're stressed about. So if you're stressed about school, make sure you have an extracurricular that you can go to where you really just don't have to talk about school, and you can just like chill and really like immerse yourself in that activity and just not worry about it, and kind of like, yeah, so make sure you have that. And if it's like your sport or your music that's stressing you out, make sure you're like going to see your friends regularly and like chatting to them and having a good time and doing other things, because if you focus on one thing, then it becomes all consuming, and then those like issues of stress and like demotivation and negativity, like they're kind of heightened and they're worse. So that's what I would say. And also just like talk to people, like talking to people and really talking about how you're feeling. I think that really, really helps, and it can be really hard to do initially, but once you start talking, like once you start talking, I think you'll feel a lot better. So I'd recommend that. Oh, are you happy? No. No. I'm not sad right now, but I'm not like super, super happy, just because there's so many messy things going on in my life right now, and it's kind of stressful. I just would like to really start college, and there's just a lot going on in my life right now. So no, I'm not sad, but I'm not like super happy, and I'm not super content. I think once I start college and once I get into that kind of routine and things kind of start going a little bit back to normal, I will be happier. But I'm not like sad, but I'm just not like super happy and content. What are your insecurities? Again, so I answered that earlier in the video. Last question, do you think you've met the right person yet and just don't know it? If you're talking in terms of like a partner, like if I've met the right partner for me, no, I don't think so. I really don't think so yet. I went to an all-girls school, and I don't know that many boys through running, and that's kind of the only thing that I would know boys through. And I have like a couple of friends who are boys in like my friendship group. Like, no, I definitely don't think I've met the right person yet. No, like definitely not. Okay, so that is the end of the video. Those are all of your questions. Some of them got very deep. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video, just like having a bit of a chat or a very one-sided conversation. But yeah, if you do have any like other video suggestions, kind of like similar to this, in this similar kind of style, make sure to let me know by commenting down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And you can also go check out like a bunch of my old or like videos that I filmed recently, or like not so recently. I have been filming videos for the past 3 years, and there is like a lot of videos on my channel, so you can go check some of them out if you don't have anything better to do. And also make sure to go follow me on Instagram at tia.chitty, so that you can be involved in future videos like this, and so that you can have your questions answered. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, do all that stuff, and thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. Thank you to everyone who asked questions. There were some really good questions in there. Please, if you are asking questions, try and keep them like to the topic. Like, some of the questions were like not that deep. So if I'm asking for like specific questions, please try and keep them like, you know, under that umbrella. But yeah, thank you to everyone who asked questions. It's really nice that because when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted to film like videos like this. I always wanted to film videos like this, but I didn't have enough subscribers and followers to get enough questions. I would get like 4 questions, and I couldn't really film a Q&A with 4 questions, but now I get like 40 or 50, which is really good. One time I did a Q&A on my Instagram story one day, and I got over 100 questions. I was like, I've saved that Q&A in a highlight on my Instagram. It's just called Q&A. So if you go and look at my Instagram profile and scroll through the highlights, you'll be able to see a Q&A highlight. And so if you have any questions, they might be on there, but there's like 100 questions on there. So yeah, you can go through, read some of those answers if you want. But anyway, we need to end the video now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I love how the sun has just like set during this video, and it started kind of like light, and now it's just like really dark outside. Also, here's my iron infusion that happened today. A vlog will be coming out about that soon. And I have a habit of ending videos, and then just like I end it and then just kind of keep talking. So I don't know why I do that, but oh well, whatever. If you watch to the very end of the video, then you get a lovely surprise of me at the end of the video just rambling about random things. Oh, okay, my storage is running out. Bye!